All right, so let's just imagine that you come across a house and it's $200,000 and you're like, wait a minute, this is a steal. I've got to get this house. And then you're scrolling a little bit more, you're reading the description, and it shows that it's actually a short sale. And now your mind is racing. What is a short sale? What does this mean for you? Is this a good move? I want to talk about exactly what a short sale is, because it's not as bad as people think, but it does require some patience and some education before you jump into it. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation, let me first introduce myself. My name is Kim McBride, also known as Get Keys with Kim. I'm a licensed associate broker as well as a broker in real estate in Maryland, DC, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and the Dominican Republic. Do y'all see this light shining on me? I will take the sun because it is super cold. Nonetheless, let's get into it. All right, so a short sale happens when a homeowner owes more on their mortgage than what a house is actually worth. So let me give an example. Let's just say a house is worth $280,000. How much they owe is $300,000. So they owe more on the house than what the house is worth, and they need to sell it. Before they can actually sell the property, even though their name is on the deed, even though they own the property, they don't own it outright because they still have a mortgage. So the bank owns it until they pay it off. They then have to go, the seller, the homeowner, has to go to the bank and say, hey, is it okay for me to sell this house even though I owe more than what the house is worth? If the bank says yes, then the bank is agreeing to a short sale. And the reason why they do it as a short sale is so they can avoid foreclosure, because banks don't necessarily have real estate portfolios. They're not in the business of holding on to houses. They want the money. They want to generate the interest and all the money that you're going to pay into this house over a few years. And some people might say, well, how does a person get into a situation such as that where you have to end up in a short sale? It could be missed payments over time. It could be a house that's underwater. So you bought it for one particular price and then the market crashes or something like that and things change. And so when you get a valuation of the home, it's now worth less than what you actually paid for it. It could be a bunch of different situations and scenarios like negative amortization. We'll get into that a different time. Now, as the person purchasing the home, so the home buyer, one of the things you need to know is, again, the seller does not fully own this property. And so in order for them to sell it, they must first get approval from the bank. That is what most people don't tell you, and it is not that simple. So the first thing you would do would be to submit an offer on the house. Once the offer is submitted, the seller and their agent will review it. If the seller accepts the offer, they then send it to the bank, to the lender or the bank, the financial institution's loss mitigation department, for them to review it to determine if this is going to be a viable deal or not. They have the seller also submit something known as a hardship letter to give the reason for why they can no longer make the payments on the house. So they review that hardship letter, they review your offer, and then they make a decision. This decision can take anywhere from 30 to 120 days, and sometimes in some rare cases, even longer than that. I had a short sale one time that we were 18 months in and we never made it to the finish line. I know some people that have been in the short sale period for 3 years. It really just varies depending on each person's individual situation and circumstances. I can't talk today. Once it's approved, usually the sale goes through in about 45 days. However, some may take up to 6 months to close. And I didn't even get into the fact that if the seller or the homeowner has more than one lien or lien holder on their house, they also have to approve it. So let's just say you have your primary mortgage. This is who you pay your monthly mortgage to, but you have taken out a HELOC or a home equity line of credit, or you have some other lien or judgment placed on your home. Those lien holders have to know about the sale of your home, and they have to actually agree to allow you to sell your home as well. If the short sale actually goes through, it does negatively affect the homeowner or the seller. Right? Not as much as if it was a foreclosure, but it still shows up on the credit report. It still affects your credit score, and it will stay on the credit report for at least 7 years. If you're buying the property, you're going to go through the same steps as if it was any other home. That is not a short sale, so you submit. You need to have a pre-approval. Unless you're paying cash, then you have proof of funds. If you have a lot of contingencies or a lot of things that you're saying need to happen in order for you to buy this house, it weakens your offer and it's less likely that the bank will accept it. But speak with your real estate agent to go through the offer with them and to create a plan so that it makes sense for what you're trying to do when purchasing this short sale. It's also good to know that short sales are sold as is. So that's no repairs, that's no seller credits, that's no seller concessions. You're not going to get any money. You will, however, get an opportunity to usually inspect the property. So if you're not in a rush, this is a great option to think about because you're getting a house that is below market value. But when I tell you packing your patience is key, I mean that. But, you know, short sales can really be a smart move. You just need to go in with your eyes open. You need to go in with an open mind as well. Everything needs to be open. Your eyes, your mind, your heart, your time, your wallet, all of those things. If you would like to know whether a short sale is a good option for you, or if you'd like to book a consultation with me, you absolutely can click the link in my bio. Holla at your girl. Even if I'm not in your area, I will connect you with my network because my network is my net worth and I am rich, baby. You hear me? I am rich. Nonetheless, be sure to come back. Like, share, comment, send this to a friend. Follow me if you're not already following me. Make it a great day on purpose. And then do what? Get keys with Kim. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.